Hi, I'm Rob Cram, and today I'm going to take a look at the Resident Evil 6 demo that's appeared for Dragon's Dogma owners on Xbox 360. The demo's split into 3 different parts with Leon, Chris, and Jake missions, but I'm going to take a look at Leon's mission specifically and focus on some of the effects and stuff that have been highlighted here. Comparing to the previous games in the series. So if you cast your mind back to Resident Evil 5, that was set in Africa, offering some open and interior kind of locations. But I think it's been a tactical move for Capcom to include this particular part of the Leon storyline, because I believe it kind of shows off a more traditional looking Resident Evil kind of game.
So what's so special about this church? You have some sins to confess?
It's hard to explain. If I don't tell you at the cathedral, you may not believe me.
You're gonna tell me everything once we get...
So we'll start off, and obviously
Deal.
the dynamic lighting is an obvious effect to focus on. There's some dust as well, giving a kind of misty flavour. Now at this particular point in the demo, you are forced to walk at a very slow pace for dramatic effect, and that sort of gives us a bit of time to look at the character model here, who, as you can see, is quite well animated and doesn't have a kind of fixed gaze looking directly forwards. He's kind of sort of looking at the surrounding areas. So we enter this first kind of room. It's a lobby, and as I said earlier, I think the stylings of this particular room and the room we're about to go in is very much of the kind of Spencer Mansion, that kind of style. Obviously less gothic than the mansion, but sure, it has a similar kind of vibe to it.
Aim for the head.
In my opinion.
It's your best bet.
Got it.
And here we kind of emphasize the co-op aspect. It's been part of the series way beyond Resident Evil 5.
This is where the reception was gonna be.
If you cast your minds back to Resident
eating
Evil
dinner
0
right now.
with Billy and
You think anyone
Rebecca.
survived?
I hope so.
But a lot of people complained about the partner AI in Resident Evil 5, but Capcom have assured gamers that the AI in this game will be more akin to an actual human player, or so they claim. I guess that's for people to find out when they play the game. So the reason why I'm drawn attention to this particular room here, aside from its
I can't believe this is happening again.
kind of stylings that I wanted to draw attention to,
The Raccoon City incident. You were one of the
and
survivors.
also aside from the depiction of
Never forget it.
chaotic
We're going to this cathedral of yours.
happenings that have disrupted the celebratory function that was going on here for the
I know.
president.
What was that?
Only one way to find out.
So we've
Let's
finally
go.
been given that option to now move at speed. But what I want to sort of focus on here is just the room itself. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a puzzle to navigate through it, but first of all I want to draw attention to the fact that there's absolutely a huge number of models and props in this room, right down to modelled plates, serving dishes, balloons, chandeliers, chairs, and obviously the characters themselves. Now you'll also spot there as well, if you look at those balloons, there's animation on those. You'll find the animation on the candles as well, and that's for all of the candles. Some of the decorations blowing in the wind. So in this one room you've got a huge number of objects and animations, giving it a lot more atmosphere than the kind of static backgrounds that we may have seen in the previous games. And to a degree as well, some of the games that are more modern that have featured full 3D sort of models. So admittedly there's not much actually happening in this room in terms of combat and extra models having to be rendered here, but it's an impressive room with all its light sources, shadows and animations. So we'll move into the next room, and this kind of points to a more claustrophobic location here as you kind of moved from the big open space to a complete contrast, which now shows off some more of the dynamic lighting. See that reflecting off of her clothing and skin from the crack in the door. You've got this kind of dark, moody room with dim lighting and the misty kind of effect as well. You've got that light beaming out from these refrigerators. So there's lots of atmosphere, and that's what I'm really liking for the Resident Evil 6 demo. I think parts of Resident Evil 5 were a bit too bright, and I think they've kind of nailed giving the environments a lot more character and a lot more feeling sort of alive and lived in with the number of props. Okay, well that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy the demo when you get your hands on it.